Hi, everybody, and welcome to Metaphysical Insights. I'm your host, William Becker. My guest is paranormal Pete Orbea. Um, Pete's a great guy, a great friend, and the director of the Port Gamble Ghost Conference, which I will be at again this year. And um, oh, he has does ghost tours in Port Gamble. He's an investigator. He's a medium, and just out and out talented in every kind of aspect you can think of. So, Pete, welcome. So,
Thanks, William.
you're
Okay,
welcome.
now the pressure's on now. Geez, thanks.
Well, if I put it on you, then I don't have to feel it.
Oh, well, thanks for having me on.
It's always great. Um, Give us a little bit of an idea of what kinds of things you've been working on lately. I know you've always got interesting stuff happening around you.
Um, I'm just busy. The day to day. Um, I've been doing a lot of ghost walk tours. Have one tonight. Did one last night.
Hmm.
So it's that time of year. Lots of ghost tours. So that keeps me pretty busy.
Hmm.
And done a few readings here and there. They've really still continue to come in waves.
Right.
Um, you know,
I
I don't
know
know
the
why,
feeling.
but I don't know why, but it does. And yeah, it's excited for Halloween. We've got a cool event going on in Port Campbell, Washington. We've got a
Yeah.
adult Halloween costume contest party and live music going on, and late night paranormal investigation on Halloween night. And then I've been working on the Port Campbell Ghost Conference, as you mentioned.
Hmm.
Um, and so that's November 7th through the 9th. And um, it's going to be, there's a cool lineup this year, and we're going to be showing the zombie movie that was filmed in Port Gamble, Zombies and Mass Destruction,
Oh, cool.
during the conference. And yeah, so I'm really excited for that, and just seeing everybody that comes to the conference. And then my public investigations start mid November here in Port Gamble. So yeah, lots going
Okay.
on.
Well, now, what are the public investigations?
So that's different from the tour in Port
Mhm.
Gamble. So it's just you spend 3 hours in one location at the Walker Ames house, and we go through and um, try some audio sessions and try some different things to see if activity will be captured and
Hmm.
give people a sense of doing a paranormal investigation. And so you get to kind of go through the house in depth and see what you capture.
Fantastic. I love
Yeah.
it. Now, how do the people get a hold of you and reserve those or book tickets for those?
It's PortGambleParanormal.com. That's where you can get the tours and the investigations information. And then also there's links to the Port Gamble Ghost Conference on that webpage also. So you can go there and then click on the conference. Or, yeah, everything else is there. Hmm.
Okay, let me see. I'm just put this in the comments
No, thank you.
when it comes up. Okay, is that right?
Yep.
Yay! Okay, I love it. Yeah, and Pete's tours are really, really good. I've taken some, and I can't recommend it enough. And Pete's one of the good guys with investigations too. He has the awareness and the astuteness to take things for what they are and not jump to conclusions,
Yeah.
and knows the equipment and knows how to make it go and what its strengths and weaknesses are and all the rest of it. So
Well,
you can't go
thank
wrong.
you. You give me too much credit on the tech stuff. I know a little bit.
But you do know how to work it and make it work and on a lot
Yeah.
of things. I mean, it's you know what to look out for better than most people do, and um, that
Well,
helps.
it's always fun. I mean, whether you're helping somebody out or you're investigating a historic location, I don't know, it's always pretty positive, or
Hmm.
at least that's how I feel about it. And so yeah, it's try and have a good time doing it, but uh, I I try, I'm a believer, but I also try and be skeptical.
Right. And that's important.
Yeah.
So, very much so. Cool. Um, Tell us some more about the conference because I'm really looking forward to it. It's one I look forward to every year.
Yeah, so it's the 16th annual Ghost Conference this year. Um, I can't believe it. Time just
Hmm.
goes by quick. But yeah, it'll be 3 days, November 7th through the 9th. We've got, well, you're going to be speaking and teaching a class.
Hmm.
And so there's a lot of great speaker presentations this year, which if you get a conference pass, you can see all the speaker presentations. You get a 3 day or a 1 day pass, and the classes are separate tickets. So there's a lot of good classes this year. Um, I think there's a good diversity of class subjects.
Okay.
I'm excited to have my friend Greg Olson coming back to the conference. He hasn't been there for many, many years.
Oh, I
So
don't think
he's,
I've met him.
yeah, you'll get to meet him. He's a really neat guy. So he's going to be doing a true crime presentation, and
Okay.
him and a couple of his longtime assistants are going to be talking about the stories that have kept people reading all over the world for a long time. And so I'm
Excellent.
really, yeah, excited for that. And um, yeah, there's a lot of great returning people. Jim and Joanne Clarkson.
Oh, I like
Um,
them.
yeah, we've got Tanya from Slabtown Tours. She's going to be talking about a Portland poltergeist case.
Okay.
Um, that's it seems really cool. I can't wait to see that one. Jason Carpenter's coming back. Um, Stephanie Steffen's going to be speaking again. Um, Darcy Velez is coming back. Kelly Brickle from Sacred Spiral Network.
Uh-huh.
She's going to be coming back up. And Amanda Paulson's going to be there. You're putting me on the spot, making me think of everybody.
Sorry about that.
So if I forget anybody, please accept my apologies. But a lot of great speakers. We've got I think there's some cool subjects. Michael White's speaking and talking
Mhm.
about pragmatic investigations.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I mean, there's a wide range of subjects, and same with the classes. All the classes this year are 2-hour classes, so the instructors have a chance to really get into their subject that they're teaching about, and give the people taking the class the time to do an activity in the class, or to be able to ask questions or kind of absorb what they're learning about. So
Yeah.
that's different this year, as all the classes are 2-hour classes.
I
um,
really appreciate that as an instructor.
yeah,
You know, I've always gotten the 2 hour slot if I've asked for it, but um,
it's
it's
kind of
still
hard an hour to or 50 minutes to an hour to get get something really across to people. So
right.
yeah, that's cool. We've got of course, the vendors. Some of the speakers will be vendors. Some of the class people are vendors. We've got
I have a table.
vendors coming in. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of authors there, a lot of books, so a lot of great information you can pick up. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of good authors at this conference. So we're going to be doing an authors panel again,
Okay, good.
um, which is going to be last year's was really good. So I'm looking forward to this year's. Brian Blackwood's going to be on it. So yeah, and then we'll have a psychic panel.
Yep.
Um, just because I think that's always a really fun part to hear from everybody and everybody's points of views, and um, get some good audience questions going.
Yeah, I always enjoy participating on that one.
Yeah, and Kasha Amenti is going to be back this year,
That
so
makes me
she's
very happy.
yes, so um, long time friend of the conference. So yeah, excited to have her back. She's going to be doing a gallery reading Saturday evening, and so yeah, very excited to have her back. And I mentioned Kelly Brickle. She's going to be teaching a class and doing a numerology gallery reading,
Okay.
and that'll be Saturday during the day in the theater. And this year I tried to schedule things between our two speaking venues to allow more time for vendor time and readings and stuff like
Hmm.
that. So hopefully, every year trying to tweak the schedule a little bit to make it better. So hopefully we did a good job.
Oh, I'm sure you
So
did.
it's
I'm
hard.
always, it is, but I'm always very impressed by what you and your team put together and how it plays out, and
Thanks.
the focus and the number and
Yeah.
all the rest of it. And as somebody that often has a table, it's nice to be able to hear the speakers too.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Yeah, that's
I
always been a challenge. Our venue size is always the challenge.
right,
And trying to get as many vendor spots as we can, but not split them up in different areas. Because in our situation, if you're in a different area, you're probably in a different building, and
right,
so I don't want vendors to be detached,
yeah.
around the town. And so, yeah, I'm probably most excited for the zombie movie this year. It's great.
Hmm.
So if you haven't seen it, folks, look it up. It's Zombies of Mass Destruction. I think you can get it on Amazon, or um, if you have Comcast, I think it's on there.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you've never been to Port Gamble, you get to see Port Gamble in an interesting way. Yeah.
uh, well, have you been getting any? And yeah, the website you gave me is how people can get a hold of the conference.
hmm
Okay.
Yeah. There's a link there. It says conference. You can click that, and it's actually a Port Gamble town event,
Mhm.
the Ghost Conference. So yeah, portgamble.com is where it's at.
And um, buy your tickets soon. They,
Yeah, we're
I know
selling. I mean,
classes fill out.
yeah. I think last couple of years we've been seeing more classes purchased at the conference or right before it, and
Okay.
so we're kind of let's see. Well, tickets are starting to pick up. They're picking up for sure, but I think we're at like 180 attendees so far, and
Wow.
that's on track every year, right about there. So we're right on track, how we usually are, and we fill the venues.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So yeah,
And the
I'm very
people there are focused on the conference and what's going on. It's not like you get a bunch of people in town
yeah,
for other reasons as well,
yeah.
and so they're not as serious as far as the topics of the conference go,
hmm
and being there. You
Yeah.
the
There's
the
there's a
crowd
lot
is
going
great.
on. There's a lot going on that weekend in this little town. So there's the holiday open house also at the Port Gamble General Store on Saturday
Okay.
and Sunday of that weekend.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm hoping a lot of people come to the conference can get some good holiday shopping done while they're here at the conference. So
Exactly. Exactly. But my point is the ones who actually buy tickets and come are really there for they
yeah,
might they'll explore and take part in other things and do the shopping and
yeah,
restaurants, but they're there for the conference, which creates an environment that I appreciate
yeah.
as a speaker and a teacher and a vendor.
I hope it has um, a personal feel to it.
Yeah,
Because everyone's there because they want to be there, and yeah,
and
that's
it
it's
doesn't
been
feel
great.
like a circus or a shopping mall.
Yeah, yes, exactly. The one
Um,
thing I would say is I wish time would slow down a little bit.
oh,
um,
gee, why?
because once the conference is done every year, I'm like, okay, it's a whole other year before the next one, and then before you know it, it's like, oh my gosh, it's right around the corner.
Hmm.
So I wish time would just slow down a little bit.
Right, totally understandable.
Yeah.
Um, Now, what about investigations and evidence and such that you've come across lately?
Um, well, I haven't been collecting. I haven't been like doing a lot of recording or anything because I've had zero time for review.
Hmm.
But I did recently go to Starvation Heights in Olalla, Washington,
Hmm.
which has made Dr. Linda Hazard and the story that Greg Olson made worldwide famous, Starvation Heights. And so I recently got to go there for a true crime convention, the West Sound Crime Con that Greg Olson put on. And so that was very exciting. It was a place I'd always wanted to go, but just had never been able to make it yet. And
I didn't realize it was open
it's
again.
not.
Okay.
It's not. Um, from what I understand, it's not. But it was just cool to go and be there, um, and talk to talk to the owners of the place, but also talk to other people that were there for the conference. And it's just such an interesting history there on that property, but the people were just even nicer. And
Hmm.
so it was a cool experience, and I got to bring a couple of tools just to for investigation, just to have some fun with it more so than really investigating. Um, and I was able to capture a number of EVPs that were children's voices, which most people wouldn't expect to be at this location. But
Right.
that seemed to be pretty much the only thing I was picking up. Um, so that
Well,
was
you're a
pretty.
natural with kids. Kids like you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was unexpected. Very, you know, it was a very laid back sort of thing. I just put my audio recorder out in different areas over a relatively short span of time, but I did
Hmm.
some work with dowsing rods. Just wanted to kind of walk around the property and see what kind of readings the dowsing rods would get. And at one point, I kept getting drawn to a certain spot on a corner of the property, and so I went there, and I kept getting pointed to this direction. No matter which way I faced, I kept getting pointed to this direction, and found a spot and we started asking, if there's somebody there, can you do this with the rods? And it would do it. And then, okay, let's do some yes and no questions. And it was quite interesting. Um, we, I did a lot of, well, a lot of questions, yes and no. Is there a man here? See what it would say. It'd say no. Is there a woman here? No. Is there a young girl here? No. Is there a young boy here? Yes.
Okay.
Is there a young girl here? No. Is there an adult male here? No. Is there a boy with us? Yes.
Fantastic.
Is there an adult female with us? No. Is there a boy with us? Yes. And so I was like, oh, there must be a boy here with us.
Great.
And um, so I was doing that with the dowsing rods, and so that was quite interesting. Um, and right after that, my beautiful wife Molly decided to ask, well, if is there anybody here who wants to say hello? And there's a response that sounds like a young male or a boy that says hi. Um, so that was pretty cool, and that was right in sequence with each
Fantastic.
other. And so that was a really cool experience. Um, and the place has such a notorious history. I didn't feel any of that. Definitely was feeling a lot of energy, but it didn't. Nothing was negative.
Okay.
It was all positive, and it was interesting talking to the owners that they get that too. They get it's
Oh, good.
it's there, and from what I understood from them, that generally it's all positive. There's they're not like scared, and so that was really cool to learn about, and um, also to capture the children's voices. That was really interesting. One of the clips says, "Hi, mom." Um, Another clip is a kid saying to maybe other kids, it says, "Okay, kids, come on," in this really weird Mickey Mouse sounding voice. It was
Okay.
kind of weird. Yeah, so that was a cool experience. That was something more recent that I got to do. This past weekend, I went to Fort Vancouver Barracks and did a tour with Jeff Davis,
Hmm.
um, and my buddy Jason Taylor, and so that was really cool. The the whole grounds there is kept up so nice. I was very so impressed
Right.
that how nice everything was, and everything was in its place. It was kind of cool.
Hmm.
So, and I didn't realize how old the fort was. And the Hudson Bay Company history, down below it, and all the vegetation there. That was so cool. The different trees and plants, and very interesting. So
Yeah,
that was really fun.
but that would be, and I should have been on that tour. I or take one of them anyway, but because they sound really good.
Yeah, I mean,
I've done an outdoor tour with Jeff, but not the barracks.
well, we didn't go in to the
Okay.
barracks. We did go into the Grant House that's there. But yes, anybody who hasn't taken the Fort Vancouver Barracks tour with Jeff Davis, you should. That guy
Yeah.
has so much knowledge.
Right.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, and let's see. I know Hudson. I don't even remember the dates for when Fort Vancouver was built. It was
I
after
think he
Fort
said. I think he
was.
was said it was 1822 or something like that was the earliest.
That would make sense. And it was just a few. I think 1827, McLaughlin had made the claims in Oregon City,
Okay. Gosh,
and
for
the
the West
first mill.
Coast, for the West Coast, that's just a long time ago.
Yeah, for all of you friends of mine in Europe and the Middle East and
Oh
Asia and all that, I know that's a new house, but and
yeah,
for the East Coast here, I know that it's still pretty new,
yeah,
but um, yeah, oh, that would be fantastic. I
yeah. That
don't.
was really cool.
When did the U.S. military set up a base there?
I I could be wrong because I'm learning about it, but I think it was 1849.
That makes sense. I know some of the defenses on the north and south side of the mouth of the Columbia go back to pre-Civil War, roughly around that
Yeah,
time, because they were concerned about Civil War ships coming in,
yeah,
your Confederate ships,
yeah,
and so
yeah.
um,
It was really cool to visit there just because coming from Port Gamble, the fort is earlier than Port Gamble, but not by a whole lot. And so it was kind of fun walking around. You know how you like to go to historic places and look into the past and see the
right,
people from before. Um, as I was walking around the fort there, it was just kind of cool from a physical sense. It was just looking at the architecture, all the window trim details and all the window styles are exactly the same that's in Port Campbell. And so I almost felt at home walking around there,
right,
seeing all the architecture details and the shiplap siding and um, those thin lead glass small panes, with the black, panes of glass, and it was just kind of cool. And I don't know if I have been able to do what you can do with looking into the past, but I kind of started to make me feel that way, just from just how I guess the nostalgic feel around Port Campbell when you can kind of imagine the people of the day, and so I kind
mhm.
of got that feeling there, which was pretty cool.
Excellent, excellent. I'm glad.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, and you did a great job on the podcast afterwards.
but that was fun. Yeah, hassling the
Yeah.
paranormal.
Uh-huh.
Um, oh yeah, it's always fun to talk to Jason, and glad
Yeah.
you were able to join in the conversation too. So
I am
um,
too. I got a
yeah,
chance to see you that way too.
yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. And then you had a presentation after, which I did miss.
Yeah, did a presentation at the Underbar for Paranormal Pub, and Um, Shout out to them for having me, and Jason for having me come down for that. It was a lot of fun.
What
Yep.
did you talk about? How did it go?
Um,
Kind
you know, it was kind of just a fun conversation. At least I hope it was. Um, I did a presentation on Port Gamble, and for the first part of it, just to kind of show people where I'm coming from and share some of the evidence um,
mhm.
that's been captured. And then I did a presentation, which I've done at the Oregon conference and the Port Gamble conference, but it's just fun to talk about the ghost work people once too, and talked about bias and just that we lose the human connection when we think of a ghost. We don't think of them as a human necessarily first.
Right,
And so it's just more of a thought process on um, a train of thought on if we think about spirits as them remembering them as we are today living, it might explain a little bit of why things happen the way they do, why people experience things, why ghosts go where they go, why they do what they do. And so if we remember the human part of them like they were living, it helps, I think, us understand because us living people, we
right,
deal with different kinds of people every day in our lives, whether we know them or we don't know them. And so if you just think about spirits in that sense, it might help explain that what's you're experiencing or what your friend is claiming to experience might not be a bad thing. It just might be someone trying to get attention or, just not always so scary.
right.
Just remember there are people once too.
Yeah,
And so, and then I always finish it with this is my opinion. This is not fact. This is not, it's not a fact based thing. It's a train of thought, and so it's just an opinion, and um, it's given me, I think, a little bit uh, another perspective to think about when you're doing paranormal investigation or doing readings in mediumship, and just kind of really approaching spirit organically as a person instead of you know this other thing.
right.
So yeah,
Yeah, I think that's really important. Um, and that's part of why, too, when I'm doing events, and my events aren't as much technically based. I tell people if you want to bring a little portable equipment with you to help verify or something as a piece,
yeah,
do it. But they're all working on their mediumship skills. That's the focus.
yeah,
But when I partner with investigators and add in the mediumship too, I'm a real stickler about no, you don't go in and antagonize these people. How'd you like it if somebody did that to your grandmother or grandfather?
right. Or
You know,
kid or
yeah.
yeah,
And so respect is very important.
yeah. Well, I think what something you told me early on in my psychic journey is you get back what you put forward,
Right.
and that's always kind of stuck with me. And yeah, it's you don't want to antagonize. I think there's a place for that, and maybe in a certain situation where if maybe you're needing to get something out of your location and have it move on, you may need to antagonize a little bit to get it to come forward so that you can send it on. Not that I know how to do that, but
I've never seen it work.
well, yeah, I just don't know that there's people that
Yeah.
claim to do it, um,
Yeah.
and that's great. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's just kind of hard to I don't know where I was going with that,
Yeah, I didn't mean
but
to interrupt you.
that's all right. Yeah,
Uh,
but I don't think I think there's very few reasons to antagonize, and
yeah,
it would be maybe to try and move something on. But otherwise, you should always, I think, always approach a situation where you're dealing with, if you're doing paranormal investigation or mediumship for somebody or a group of people or whatever, to be have the respect that you would want.
yeah,
If you can have a respectful conversation with somebody and be, a living person, they're respectful and they open up and you can talk and
right.
you can have a dialogue. And so if you can do the same thing with spirits,
Mhm.
you may have more of a connection or be able to collect better evidence or more evidence. So,
And understand who they are, what they are, and why. What is what are they trying to say? I haven't ever met a trapped soul either. I don't think they exist. People visit. People like to hang around. It can be a lot of it is part of our consciousness we leave behind. In my experience, and that's all I can speak from.
yeah,
But um, I haven't, and I've found some that really want to intimidate sometimes. But when you call their bluff a little bit, and you don't have to be mean about it, but it's like, oh come on, really? It's like, okay, and you can have a conversation
yeah,
and find out. I've worked with people at times who wanted something gone, and I explain I don't do that, and why. But by the time I've talked to them and the entities, they're fine to have them there because they understand who it is and why and what's going on, and they can set ground
yeah,
rules, and it
yeah.
works. I'm not going to say it will every time, and of course, nothing is perfect, but um, it's helpful.
But yeah, as long as um, yeah, I mean, if you've got the good intent and you know what your intent is, you
Mhm.
can generally make something happen. You know,
Yeah,
if you're wanting something to not make it aware to you, I think you can usually be good about it if you have that intent and that
right.
you're, putting out the good energy with that intent to, okay, well, I always say to, we'll say two things, if you need to be here, fine, but I don't necessarily want to know it. I don't want to know that you're
Right.
here.
Mhm.
I think that's a kind and compromising way to do it.
Exactly. It's not like they take any space or run up the food bill
Yeah.
or
Well, they
the
may,
heat
they
or hot
may, well,
water.
I don't know. They may run up the heat bill if they're always making your room cold. Makes the heater come on more. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, but you get the benefit then in the summertime where the AC doesn't work as much.
Yes. Yeah. Just get through the winter, make it to the summer, and then you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the things I've thought about more the past couple of years too is really how our memories really will guide us in the afterlife. There'll be
Mhm.
almost the roadmap for somebody in the afterlife. So my memories that I have of the places I've been, the people in my life, and my favorite foods or whatever it is, the memory, I think in the afterlife you kind of tend to go to that. And
Oh,
in my experience in some of my readings and stuff is like they go to their memories and they live there, and then they'll
okay.
go to this one, and that's why I think some spirits are appear to be young, by voice or by photograph, and then you think you have the same spirit, but it looks like an adult, or it sounds like an adult.
Mhm.
They're going at different points in their memory,
Right.
and so I just think that's really interesting to think about when you start thinking about that's the roadmap to your afterlife. All the things you've experienced, you'll go back to those places, and then you think about, well, what if somebody who has memory issues, Alzheimer's, dementia. There's a whole lot of different illnesses and conditions that would cause troubles with memory. Well, I think that once you get on the other side, your other guides can help guide you to the light and restore yourself, restore, and you heal from that Alzheimer's, that dementia, or whatever.
Right.
And you may not, I don't know for sure if you get those memories back that you lost, or I would think so. And then you can go experience those again. And so I think the things we do in life can guide us in the afterlife.
Yeah.
And, that sounds almost religious, when you think about it.
Right. Right.
Maybe that's what that is.
I
I don't
hadn't
know.
thought about it that way. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah. Well,
interesting.
think about the things that, you know, uh, uh, a person that's had a huge impact in your life, like your folks.
Hmm?
Um, where are they, where are they going to go? Where do they have good memories? Where do they have bad memories? Where do they have, you know, daily grind memories?
Right.
They're going to go. They can go to all those places and those times. I think they can go to that place in that time.
Mhm.
And, if you think about like residual, what the TV shows call residual hauntings, somebody is maybe going to their memory in that location, doing what they like to do, or going through a memory that they have there, and they're in their own time,
Yeah.
which doesn't line up with our time, which might explain why they don't realize we're there or seem to see us.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah,
And it explains too. I mean, one of the things I noticed a long time ago was how the entities can present different, same person, but present differently at different parts of their personality
yeah, yeah,
in different places. And, I use an example that might be wonderful at the office and a tyrant at home, um, or vice versa, and
yeah,
I've seen that. And also people present often in various stages of life. I've
yeah,
had people show me their life by to a degree by showing themselves at various ages.
yeah, yeah. I mean, in readings, when you see somebody or just kind of know what they look like, it's not always, at least in my experience, ask if about yours. It's not always how they appeared when the age when they died,
That's right.
passed over. Like sometimes you'll see the person kind of younger, and
Yep.
then I, maybe my brain or is putting it in the context of a photograph, or I'm getting that as a visual. I see the photograph of this person who died when they were 80 something. I'm seeing them in their 20s or 30s,
Right.
and seeing it more like a photograph. And so,
Hmm.
what about? I mean, do you get that too? When you see somebody when you're doing a reading or you're doing a psychic investigation of a place, how's that work for you? Do you see everybody at kind of like the age they died or other ages?
I see them at whatever age they want to show me,
Right,
and
right.
sometimes that's multiple ages, and sometimes it's one. I'll give an example. We took a trip, seven of us cousins, that included two spouses, um, to the Volga German area of Russia in 2016. And I'll have a book about that for sale at the conference. Um, and my grandmother showed herself at the school she went to, both at the age or as a schoolgirl, but also as I knew her. Um, and so, multiple ages.
Okay.
and I did at that. It was one of the most moving conversations I've ever had.
Wow.
Um, but I also did tell off an entity, and not her or there, but my grandmother always talked. My grandfather died when I was 4. I remember him, but we lived a few hundred miles away in southern Oregon, and so I remember him pretty well because we were up here for summers or they down there, or, different things. But
Yeah.
I don't. He died young, but my grandmother shoot 82. I was 25 when my grandmother died, and she was like 6 miles away, so we saw her constantly.
Yeah.
Um, and she talked about my grandfather's wicked stepmother, and she was. I mean, she made Hansel and Gretel's look like a nice person. Um, Cinderella's was nice in comparison.
Yeah.
And
Jeez.
I know. Uh, and we went to my grandfather's father's house, and um, she came flying out of the upper part of the house, just like the dream scene that the butch or that Tevye had in Fiddler on the Roof, trying to get his daughter out of the marriage with the butcher so she could marry the tailor. And um,
So she lived up to expectation then.
she did, and she came out that way because she knew about all the stories. I mean, she knew I knew all about her, and basically how she tried to make my grandmother miscarriage or kill her, and I
Jeez.
mean, just horrible. Grandpa had to steal food in his father's house when he came back from military service because she wouldn't give him enough to eat.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, and it's not like they were paupers; they were a
Well,
wealthy
so
family.
if she comes flying out, right? Was
Yeah,
it?
and I just laugh at her.
Do you think she
And
was coming at you more from like a I'm going to set the record straight. None of this is true, and so I have to prove it to you. Was it that kind of energy, or was it just, no, I'm a jerk, and this is.
and no, it was attacking energy because I knew her secrets. And I told her off. I laughed at her and told her what I thought of her. And she ended, and we went. And then I went to the school and had the conversation with Grandma. And Grandma said, "Imagine how hard her life must be for her to hate or be so awful or to hate so much or to
Yeah,
hate her life so much."
yeah,
And my grandmother, when she was alive, would never have said that,
yeah,
um, especially about that woman. And so that certainly helped verify the connection with Grandma.
yeah,
Um, but it also made me think, and it's like, yeah, that's right, and that's also something to keep in mind when we're talking to the entities
yeah.
about. Um,
Well, and that's a
and
pretty wise thing for her to say, and it shows that other side perspective that you gain
yes,
of even all that she was put through with the step, the
mhm,
stepmom, that she's still able to say that and have that perspective and positivity in that sense too. I find that pretty cool.
yeah, I do too, and it shows that when we cross whatever you want to call it, I don't know a word that's adequate. Um, we heal and we grow. It's part of our soul's journey
Yeah.
to become full, complete, authentic selves.
I think you have to go to
And
the light though for full to restore yourself and to gain fully that perspective. I think, in my opinion and experience, if you don't go to life, you're still going to have a lot of things from your living life that still hold you back, whether that's mental illness or physical issues or whatever it is that held you down in life. I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you think you just heal, or do you?
well,
I
I
feel
think
like
it's,
you have to go through the soul's car wash,
yeah.
to get rid of all of it.
And I don't ever have that feeling about a light. I know that we have to cross over and go. Our soul has to go to whatever that is, and
Right. Whatever the light is,
yeah, and haven't ever seen it like this big beam of white light people talk about, and I don't. So it's not the piece that's left on planet. It's not the piece of our intellect or personality or something here. It's the soul. It's the real part of our essence that then does go
Yeah.
goes home, joins its full self in its soul group, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just think we just go. I don't. You could very well could be right. I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I just think I haven't ever.
Nobody knows.
Exactly. I just haven't seen or experienced that light.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but that could just be me and what I see. Um,
Yeah. I've seen it. I'm pretty sure multiple times I've seen at least part of it. If I don't know about the full extent of it, but a piece of it. Like my grandpa waited for my grandmother, and when she passed, he was there for her, took her hand, and then they both went into this like bright light, and that's
right.
what I saw. And then right after that, I got the phone call from my dad saying that my grandma just passed away, and I kind of jokingly said, "I know."
Yeah.
But they went into a light, and I've had a lot of other readings where if I have a hard time seeing the person, it's almost like I see their silhouette with this amazing bright light behind them, and it's just I can see their silhouette and their shape, and it's like the sun. It's like they're standing in front of the sun,
Okay.
like a photograph when you're standing and the sun's behind you.
Hmm.
That's kind of what it looks like to
And
me.
I have seen people who glow, but
Yeah,
but are but we can glow here in a sense. Um,
sure.
and,
Or energy and stuff. Yeah,
yeah, and just that light that comes within us. So I don't know. I mean, obviously I believe you. I
and I don't
I'm
know either.
thinking with my parents. I didn't, and I was with both of them when they passed, and there wasn't anything particularly that people talk about. Um, but I was also pretty preoccupied. With mom and dad was there, but with dad, it was just me
Yeah,
and the nurse coming in every once in a while. Um, and um, so it's a different way of doing it,
yeah. Well, I think
I guess.
and just like we're all a little different, we're all
Right.
unique. That experience is probably unique with
Yeah.
everybody, with some general broad similarities, but it's
Hmm.
unique to everybody too. And
Yeah.
you know,
And part of it might be in what we're conditioned to expect to think or
yeah,
see, or what the symbolism is that means something to us.
it
Because
and our
I get
bias
readings
and
sometimes.
yeah,
Because a lot of times, part of the reading will be a symbol that I can translate because of what it means to me or what it means to the
yeah,
client,
yeah,
and instead of being absolute.
exactly.
And yeah,
I think symbolism work is really interesting and really hard. It is
exactly. There's
because
some
different symbols for different things, different medium like I think of like art, there's different types of canvas, and there's paint and watercolors and pencil and charcoal. There's different mediums of art, and so there's different mediums to the spirit side too.
right. Hmm. And, and we're all unique. There is no one size fits all,
Yeah,
which helps make it fascinating.
yeah,
And I certainly don't want to be lumped into a stereotype and whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
uh,
Well, one thing that has always been intriguing about you is past life work and looking into the past. And um, you've done a past life reading for me, and I don't know how, but it just kind of makes sense when you think about it. I don't know, but um, I I've always been curious. I just never think to ask you at the time. So, and I'm just going to put this out there and for your listeners, but you had said that I was like was like an Aztec sort of era, a priest that had performed sacrifices. You got that from me.
okay, that you were the priest.
Yes.
Okay. Oh
What
yeah,
I've always
and the
wondered
blood. I
though,
can see it again right now, and the blood coming down and pouring through the into the vessel. Yeah.
why me? What what do you think that is? Like I've never asked you about that. I always mean to and then I always forget. Like how would you interpret that? Because I don't know how to interpret that other than it's kind of creepy.
Well, first of all, it's important not to look at it with today's terms and today's mind, but
Okay.
look at the culture and the time. And so it wasn't creepy or weird, according to the people, the culture, and the time. And it wasn't unusual in a lot of places. Um, I've done
Sure.
sacrifices too, but I did it as um, in the in Europe, mostly in England, but other places too. It's part of the late Neolithic, early Bronze Age. Um, and so,
Well, I can kind of get that, but how does that make I just don't
but,
understand how it makes sense
and
for
I
me.
don't remember the context and all the rest of the reading. I just remember this because you mentioned it. But part of it is the spirituality aspect or connecting, but part of it is also
Old, like old spirit.
old, older, yep, and also um, that's a position of authority and command and respect. Um, you're in charge of the sacrifices and appeasing the gods so that you have the right amount of rain and the harvest grows. Um, and you beat
Okay,
the
so
enemy at war.
I'll
And it,
I'll take it as doing good for the whole of people,
yeah, and um,
whatever it takes.
well, there's that, and it was also a matter of show and bringing people together because from my reading of a lot of different, including in Egypt and different things, a lot of the priests knew this wasn't real as far as working magic, but it was real and vital as far as unification of the people and giving hope and giving order
Yeah,
and frankly keeping things under control. And some of them were more cynical and it was about power and wealth.
yeah,
And in that life, I think you like that, but that wasn't the purpose so much.
yeah.
A lot of it was order, but a lot of and keeping people together, keeping society from crumbling.
Okay. I could see that.
Yeah.
Uh, So just to clarify for anybody watching or listening, I do not perform sacrifices in this life or do anything like that.
That's true. He doesn't.
But
Uh,
that's interesting. Well, what's your take on? Sorry to ask you questions that you
no, it's
shouldn't,
fine.
but um, when you talk about an old soul, or many people are referred to as an old soul, do you have you done past life readings for anybody where they were more? It was more like just a young soul, or one
Yeah,
that wasn't that old, and like, how do you know? Like, what do you think the big difference is, just from, how do you tell quickly, or what's your tell for old? Is it more visions? Is it more lives that you can see? Is it less lives tells you it's a newer person? You know what I mean? Like, how do you
I do know
know?
what you mean. And some of it, it's a little bit of all of those things, I think.
Hmm.
Um, I usually just know, but it's not by, it's very rare that I look at somebody and say that's an old soul or a new soul or in between without tuning into something.
Yeah.
Um, and occasionally reading those that were part of the same soul group and we had lives together before.
Okay.
Um, but I I look at the lives, the past lives, and what they were as well. And now, so often, what I get are the lives that are pertinent to the time I'm giving the reading, and you know,
To that person and what they're going through in this time. Yeah.
exactly,
Okay.
um, and what they need to know that's affecting from their past lives that it's affecting positively or negatively or nothing in the
Yeah.
current. But it's partly that and what those lives tell me. And when I have somebody with very few um, lives or newer lives,
Hmm.
again, it depends. If they've only got three presenting, but one of them was as a Neanderthal, actually, I don't think I've ever. I've had pretty old readings of places, but I don't know that I've read anything. Read a human,
Gone back that far.
well, not a humanoid that was other than Homo sapien. Um,
Oh, I see what you're
yeah,
saying.
because
I see what
we're
you're
only
saying.
300,000 years old as a species, but we
Yeah.
interacted. We had several different human species around us, and we
Yeah.
interbred with some of them. I've got Neanderthal genes, and you probably do too. Um,
Yeah.
but so if somebody's got that really ancient life, but only a couple, well, they haven't done maybe as much growing and learning and such yet, but the soul's been around longer.
Right.
And sometimes I can see when there are people close to me, especially. Now, I haven't tried it on regular clients, but like I've got one friend, a really good friend that just clicked, and I could see his forming because we are formed at the same time. They were formed at, you know,
Hmm.
at the same time and place, kind of like soul brothers that way. And um, that gives an idea as well. And sometimes there are things in this life that come through as far as spiritual development, development of kindness or awareness of others, um, things they're working on, things they're not. Um,
Yeah.
those aren't um, totally reliable. They're indicators of possibility.
Yeah.
But it could also be that who's living now is just going through different things they need to learn in the soul that doesn't
Yeah.
um, necessarily present in a way that most people would like.
Yeah. Well,
So,
let me ask this. As you're talking about this, it triggered something. Do you think so? When you're looking at past lives, and you can kind of almost interpret how it may be for circumstances or situations in a person's life now.
mhm.
When you're looking through that past life and the soul's journey, I think you can consider the soul group in it as well. Do you think it's more about purpose or more about being? Just
I
just
think
being,
it's
you know what I mean? Is it more about the purpose or just being, just existing? Sorry.
I think these are good questions, and I think it has to do with both, actually, because the purpose comes out of the being,
Cool. Yeah,
and
it's weird to think about. Yeah, and
oh,
that's an amazing answer. Yeah, that's great. Because
okay,
I just, is it more, are we really driven by purpose or are we just driven by more by existing? And, I guess that's what I'm getting at. That's a great answer.
yeah, and different people are in different places on that. An older soul
Totally.
is going to be more purpose stems from being, and a younger one might be purpose more than awareness of being.
Yeah.
Um, but even those lines get fuzzy,
Yeah. Yeah. And again, yeah, everybody's kind of at different stages and,
right?
we're all trying to find purpose in this life.
Yeah,
And,
uh-huh.
you
But
know, what is that purpose? And maybe you can discover it through past lives.
it helps. It helps with the direction. It helps show continuity of things, of skills or talents or interests to a degree. It helps to understand sometimes why we have phobias and fears in this life that are not based on experience in this life, and why we have joys and things we enjoy for this that also aren't experiential
Yeah.
necessarily, um, or desires of things we'd like to be able to do but can't.
Right.
Um, I'd love to be able to paint and draw, and I have tried, and I failed.
I hear you on that one.
Uh, um, yeah, and so it all helps make the bigger picture, I think.
Yeah.
And the more we understand about ourselves, but also the world around us and how we fit, I think the more fully we live life. Now, there is a downside to that because the more aware we are, um, more open, then we experience a lot of the sorrows and pain more,
Yeah.
um, and have fewer people that get us and understand us. Um, and so there's that aspect, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't change it.
Yeah. But at
Uh,
least I think, and I don't know what your take is on it, but I think there is at least, for us all in this life now, in this reality, on this planet at this time, I think there's a much more openness in general to people being more open to learning about themselves in that way, learning about the spiritual side of things, not necessarily from a religious perspective or method of religion, but you know what I mean? Like, I think there's
yeah,
more of an awakening going on, and hopefully the more and more people are open to that, and the more they learn about themselves in that
right,
sense, will help bring us all back to a place of um, what's knowing what's important, what's really important, you know,
exactly. Mhm.
beyond this world, but what's really important. And if we can act that way towards each other, knowing it's about who you've got and not what you've got, that the world can be a better place.
That would be lovely.
I mean,
Yeah.
grandiose thinking, but
Well, I think we're not going to have a world that survives without that
yeah,
to a degree. Unfortunately, the other is coming so strongly. But until we can have what my friend calls the new humanity, which in a society based on humanity, not
Yeah.
profit, um, we don't have much chance of continued existence. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to get political or anything else. It's just in general.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's been the last however many number of years, decades, centuries about profit
yeah,
and not humanity. And so I'm just kind of thinking I'm hopeful because there is much more of an openness to the spiritual side of things and
right.
spirits and the universe and whatever you want to call it or label it, that there's hope. There's hope for bringing everybody back to a place where everybody can, you know, um, coexist and, grow as a species. And
I agree. And people who are genuinely interested because they want their own growth and not because it's a show. A lot of the new agey stuff is so shallow and superficial and basically showy.
mm-hmm.
But I think you're right. I think there's more interest in something deeper. And I'm
Yeah,
not saying the new agey stuff doesn't have a place. It does. And I'm not trying to be critical. It's
yeah,
just that
sure,
a lot of that's also profit driven. um, but this is looking at going deeper than that
yeah,
and
yeah,
making transformation.
yeah, yeah. And I
So,
think I think there's hope for in the future, and you know think about 100 years from now. And I
right.
hope that there is, I just feel like there's hope. And in part of that thinking is always spurred like when you hear people talk about whether or not ghost TV shows are good or not for the paranormal field. And I always think the one thing they're good for is they've really gave people an opportunity to be open to
Right.
paranormal stuff, to at least be open to it, or still be skeptical. I hope people still be skeptical,
I'm skeptical.
but open. And so
Yes.
that's one of the great things is because of the reach, and that. So that's a good thing when so many people can be open minded, more open to it, to understanding what spirits show people like us, and doing
Mhm.
readings and showing what really matters to them, or in general what really matters and what doesn't really
Right.
matter.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Ah. Well, I think that's a pretty good way because I know you've got a busy day left ahead of you. Try to wind down the show
yeah.
tonight, but we need to do it again sooner than we have been. Um, and I am thrilled. The conference is,
November 7th through the 9th.
yeah, 3 weeks, is it?
Yep. Gosh, I can't believe it. Yeah, go to portgamble.com or portgambleparanormal.com and click on conference. There's a lot going on,
Yep.
and there's still a good number of class tickets available for all the different classes, and I encourage everybody to check out the lineup of classes because you can come and learn and from, I think, really great instructors, including yourself,
Thank you.
things that you can take with you and,
Exactly.
and use. Not just you're going to learn some really good stuff. It's not just, hey, here's a piece of paper, go on and forget about it in a day. It's stuff
Exactly.
you can take with you and use and and keep with you. So yeah,
Yeah.
November 7th through the 9th, and then I'll have you on my show at some
I'd
point.
love,
I'm only doing once a month, so
I'd love to
it,
be on.
it'll be in a little while, but yeah, because I'm booked up for a few months. But the Paranormal Pete Show, you can find that on my website too at portcampbellparanormal.com, and that's on the Sacred Spiral Network.
And
And
everybody, Pete does such a great job with the show. I very much
thanks.
encourage you to listen
It's
and
it's
watch.
fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. The introvert part of myself is always like, oh, I don't want to do it. And
Uh,
then once you start talking, then it's fine.
yeah, I
So
know what you mean.
yeah, well, thank you so much, William, and to all your listeners and viewers. Thanks a lot, and I enjoy the Simply Spooky Network and
Yes.
all the shows that are on it. So yeah, I love being on here and getting a chance to chat with you.
Yes. And thank you, Katie.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks, Katie.
I hope you're going to be at the conference, Katie. So, anyway, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.